Jai Jagannath, Shubha Sandhya. Good evening to all.
Jai Jagannath.
चतुर्भुजो जगन्नाथ कंठ शोभित कौस्तुभ पद्मनाभो वेद गर्भ चंद्र सूर्यो विलोचन जगन्नाथो लोकनाथ नीलदृश परोहरि दीनबंधु दया सिंधु कृपालुर्जन रक्षक कंभुपाणि चक्रपाणि पद्मनाभो नरोत्तमा जगतं पालको व्यापी सर्वव्यापी सुरेश्वर लोकराको देवराज शक्रकृपश्च भूपति नीलाचलपतिर्नाथः कृतार्थः पुरुषोत्तम तक्षोधेय कल्पतरु विमला प्रीतिवर्धन बलभद्रो वासुदेव माधव मधुसूदन दैतरी पुंडरीकाक्षो वनमाली बलप्रिय ब्रह्म विष्णु कृष्णचर्षो मुरारी कृष्ण केशव श्रीराम सचिदानंद गोविंद परमेश्वर विष्णु जिष्णु महाविष्णु प्रभु विष्णु महेश्वर परम कारुणिक अनंत कोटि ब्रह्मांडर नायक कोटि कोटि ओडियांकर हृदय आराध्य देवता समग्र विश्व चराचर स्रष्टा आनंद कंद परमानंद अखिल रसघन विग्रह विश्व वेदनार वैद्य देवाधिदेव श्री श्री जगन्नाथंकर चरण कमल रे ये अकिंचनर कोटि कोटि नमन। I offer my respectful obeisance to the lotus feet of my Guru, the spiritual Guru, Lord Jagannath. Myself, DR.NAMITA PATTANAIK, the Assistant State Commissioner, Odisha State Bharat Scouts and Guide, and the Faculty of Economics of Mahasi College of Natural Law, being the host and convener of this 182 National ORGANISED, organized by the ROVER Ranger Unit of Mahasi College of Natural Law, today on 4th November 2023. Welcome all the viewers from Odisha, different states of our country, and especially the viewers from USA, Mr. DILIP from Chicago, Mrs. Sikha, and many more. And it is, as you know, it is an initiative to inculcate a good moral character and spirituality of divine spirit among the youth to lead a self-esteem, integrity life and a very disciplined life. Today, the ROVER Ranger Unit going to observe the Vigilance Awareness Week, that is 2023, with the theme "Say No to Corruption, Commit to the Nation." भ्रष्टाचार के विरोध करें और राष्ट्र के प्रति समर्पित रहे. So bringing transparency and accountability in governance, that remains one of the primary means to achieve all-round development of the country. So we all know the Central Vigilance Commission as the apex integrity organization of our country. They adopt different initiatives to strive towards ensuring integrity in public administration. In this respect, the Vigilance Awareness Week, which is one of the tools, particularly in increasing the public awareness about the perils of corruption. Every year, taking into consideration the birthday of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, as all of you know, that is 31st of October, the government of India is going to observe this week, Vigilance Week, and Vigilance Awareness Week, which is observed. And that's why this year we are observing the week from October 30th to 5th of November 2023. So now, on this auspicious organization, I welcome respected Principal Ma'am, Mrs. MANJU Pattanaik, Professor MANJU Pattanaik, the webinar, yes, being our webinar.
Namita ma'am,
Yes,
ma'am,
please.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I think your video is not on. I would like to see you too.
My video?
It is on. It is on.
My video is not on?
It is on. It is
I'm not
on.
able.
Yes, it's on.
Did you dial into different phone, different?
No, no.
My mistake. My mistake. Please go ahead.
Okay.
I'm not able to see some reason, but that's okay. Please go ahead.
Okay. But I could able to see you.
Yeah, but your video is not on some reason for me.
Anyway, sure. Respected Principal, Professor MANJU PATTANAIK ji, the President of this 182 National Webinar. Respected our esteemed Chief Commissioner, Odisha State Bharat Scouts and Guide, Dr. K.P. MISHRA sir, being the Chief Patron of this webinar. Reward our Chief Speaker, cum resource person, Mr. Sanjay Kumar Kaushal IPS, the IG of Police Vigilance, Southern Region, Odisha. On the occasion of this great movement, we are organizing this webinar only to observe the Vigilance Week. So on this auspicious day, I'd like to respected Mr. DILIP from USA, Dr. Osama ji from School and Mass Education Department, and my dear Debansu, Anshuman, Sweetie, all the webinar team members and the viewers, particularly the media people and many friends from other states and all other friends. I may not be able to take your names, but I welcome all of you to this Google board. May I now request our Reverend Chief Patron, Dr. K.P. MISHRA sir, to inaugurate virtually this webinar, and Debansu, the cow from Davis School, please enchant your mantra.
Okay, ma'am.
This inauguration is being done by Dr. K.P. MISHRA sir, in virtual presence of Mr. Sanjay Kaushal IPS, the IG of Police Vigilance Odisha, our chief speaker. Yes,
Namaskar, ma'am.
yes.
Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarva Karyeshu Sarvada. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the Lord said, Yada Charati Shrestata Devataro Jana Yayat Pramanam Kurute Lokat Jan Urbarate. The meaning of this is, what the leader do, other people will follow them. What the leader proves, other people go by that way. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. You are so beautiful boy in our group, the youngest boy. Every time you are enchanting and bringing spirituality to our webinar. Now it's time to introduce our guest and also to welcome him virtually. Our today's research portion and the chief speaker is none other than the person who is from very not only administrative but also a disciplined life, and who dedicated his life for the not only for the welfare of the society but for the development, all-round development of the country as a whole. He is none other than Mr. Sanjay Kumar Kaushal, the IPS official, being now posted as the IG of Police Vigilance for the Southern Region, and his office being at Cuttack. On the occasion, I'd like to just introduce only one point, because as you know, once they wear the uniform means they are disciplined person and they are dedicated and very self-esteemed persons. So when I asked, sir, can I have your biodata, please? He said only, my work is my biodata. That's all. So I'm really grateful to you, sir. And the last Facebook I have seen, on the occasion of 86th Odisha Police Formation Day, he has been conferred with the DGP Dix. That is the outstanding prize. I can't say prize. It's the outstanding service medal, and very prestigious award for the dedicated officers and hard work throughout their state. Those who are working for the welfare of the state as a whole. And our sir, Mr. Avesha, has given him this award. So I'm really grateful to you, sir. This is a small token of. I'm very happy, sir. You have given your kind consent without meeting you personally. Only over phone you have given us. I'm really grateful. Now I'll welcome him virtually. Then I'll request my principal to give welcome address, Professor MANJU PATTANAIK, just after this. May Lord Jagannath bless you, sir, and I welcome you to this Google board, sir.
Welcome, everybody.
Yes,
So,
madam. Yes, madam.
Yes, and this eve, so it is a very pleasure to all of us that we are encouraged and we are also assembled here just to, that means to regulate that, to have the mentality for the consciousness of all of us and all around us. We have to make conscious all around us to check or to rectify what related to corruption. To suffer and
Excuse me, madam, your voice is not. Yeah.
So this is a very nice program and it is arranged by us, and we are very happy to have the great personalities like our Sanjay Kaushal sir to among us, and the main attraction here is to listen him. So I will definitely like to listen to Dr. Kaushal and other eminent personalities, and I have a very good chance to participate in this webinar, and therefore with this I remain, and we are having this personalities. This is the evening. We should be very conscious and we should make others conscious to rectify the corruption or to make conscious to move against corruption. So the plays and the rally and the competitions, etc., which are arranged by this organization, it is it gives a very nice impact on the society and the students also. So this is a very good program. So I will definitely like to listen others. So thank you very much, Namita madam, to give me a chance to make welcome to all these dignitaries.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam. You have.
Okay, madam. Okay, madam. Thank you, madam, for giving me an opportunity to organize such a webinar. Until today, we are organizing 182 national webinar where many friends from different states and different countries, they are joining with us and they're actively participating. And this is only possible only because of your highness, your greatness, and you have given me enough opportunity and independent freedom to conduct such a program virtually. Thank you, ma'am. Now it's time. We all know that as per the UN Youth Agenda 2023, and if you will go to the CPCS ethics, so many things. You will go through all the Google search everywhere. You will find youth are the future of the next generation. So now the question is, if the youth power must be channelized in such a way that they should be given a platform. But how to work on that platform without honesty and without integrity? So honesty is a very big thing, and nobody can just define it, and nobody can sure on God that I'm be honest. But here I can say you, here is the person who is with us, our great speaker today, who is really, I can just without seeing him personally in touch, but I can say he's really an amazing personality, having integrity to par with, we can't say 100%, but to par with 99.9%. So thank you very much, Shah, for being with us. Now it's time. I can't say much more about how to say no to corruption in everywhere, starting from the bottom till to the top. Everywhere is corruption. But my question is how to just reduce, because economic development is only possible in all around development is only possible if there will be no corruption, and we have to reduce it. So let us listen to us, Mr. Kaushal ji, sir, so that we'll able to not only to know about the corruption, but also to know the state event. It's a state event, how to control it. So over to Mr. Kaushal sir, Sanjay sir. Yes, sir, the platform is with you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Namita ma'am, for your kind words. And I'm very glad to be here with all of you on the occasion of this Vigilance Awareness Week. This entire program of Awareness Week is being designed by the Central Vigilance Commission in order to enlist the participation of common public in combating corruption. Corruption is such a wide phenomena, and it is everywhere. It affects all the nation, and it affects everybody. And so the solution lies not only with the government agency and the private sector, but with the civil society, with the individuals, with the NGOs as well. So in order to fight corruption, we have to understand what is corruption, what are the ill effects of corruption, how do we face corruption in our daily life. I'm quite sure that every one of us in their daily routine must have come across some form of corruption, or at least they must be knowing someone near and dear ones who have come across some form of corruption. So it is so prevalent that it is everywhere, and somebody known or himself or herself has faced this meanness during his or her lifetime. So I have a presentation that is a pretty long one, but I will keep it short because that is for a general government institutions and other things. So I will keep it short. I will only mention the relevant points. I will try to make the participants understand what is corruption, what are the ill effects of corruption, and what effort the government agencies are taking or they should take, and what options are available with the general public in order to fight corruption. So I'm just putting on my presentation. I hope it is okay. Choose what to share. Windows, PowerPoint. I don't know whether this okay. This thing.
We can see it.
Okay, you can see it. I think it is there. Okay. Okay, so every year when the CVC comes out with the awareness program, they present us with a theme to be popularized, to be ingrained in every citizen, in every public servant. So this time the theme is "Say No to Corruption, Commit to the Nation." Madam Namita, Madam, and other who have talked earlier, they have stressed about the importance of integrity in fighting corruption. So it may not be surprising that in the year 2019, the theme of Awareness Week was integrity, a way of life, because it was realized that making laws and creating institutions may not be sufficient to fight corruption. It is the zeal to fight corruption, to end corruption, has to come from inside an individual. So that paves the way for integrity in personal life and public life. Now there are various debates, what is integrity, how it is different, from whether it is different from honesty or it is the same thing. I can present with you with an example. Like I am an honest taxpayer, so I will pay taxes as per rules and regulations. But on the same time, I will try to reduce my tax incidence as much as possible. So that way, I may be an honest taxpayer because of the fear of law, but I may not be truly a person with integrity. So integrity comes when nobody is watching us, and still we are able to maintain that level of honesty. So we can say that honesty is being true to the society, to the government institutions, to your friends, to your relatives, and integrity is being true to oneself. True to oneself. Like if you are traveling, if you are driving at night and you come across a red light and you see that there is nobody to stop you or to challan you, but still you decide to stop at the red light. Now that is what may be termed as being true to yourself, because you are not in fear of any law. You can easily cross that red light. So, but you still decide to follow the rule. So that way, that can be termed as an incident of integrity. Okay, right. So I'll start with the presentation. The main theme during the entire awareness week is corruption. So what actually is corruption? Nowhere it has been defined what is corruption. So what we come across are the various forms of corruption. But anyway, the most popular notion is abusing the public office for private gain. This is also somewhat similar to the definition which is adopted by the World Bank. Another definition by Transparency International has been abuse of entrusted power for private gain. Now, the concept, the definition of corruption is not there in the Prevention of Corruption Act, which is the primary legal instrument which is used to fight corruption. But certainly we see a lot of corruption. So how does the corruption present itself before an individual? It is in the form of a bribery. It is in the form of a nepotism, favoritism. When you show favor to a person without following the rules and regulations. When you show favor to your near and dear ones, to someone you know, so that either they can benefit or you can benefit, or somebody who is in whom you are interested benefits. So that is a example of nepotism, favoritism. Basically, it subverts the democratic process. What is democracy? Democracy means rule of law. When a public servant tries to subvert the rule of law and favors a particular individual, that becomes a form of corruption. So it is willful action or inaction in order to benefit an undeserving candidate or to deny benefit to a deserving candidate. Also, a certain amount of failure to follow laid down principles is certainly there. Now, a citizen, in order to fight corruption with his full force and might, should also understand what are the ill effects of corruption. Because once a person understands the ill effect of corruption, his resolution to fight corruption will further increase. I am sure you all must have taken the integrity pledge on Monday at 11 a.m. If you can recall, the first few paragraphs of the integrity pledge was understanding what are the effect of corruption on the society and what steps the individual is expected to take in order to fight that. And the second part is the actual pledge. The pledge that I will not take or give bribe, that I will follow rule of law, that I will report the incident of corruption to the appropriate authority, and to lead by way of example. Like somebody talked about leading by example. We do what our leaders do. So that is also a part of our pledge. And the last I think one was to follow the rule of law. Those were the 5 to 6 points on which we took the pledge. So yes, we have to follow the rule of law. We have to lead by example. We have to present ourselves as an example, not to accept bribe, not to offer bribe. And we, as a conscious citizen, it is also our duty to report the incidents of corruption. No, so what are the ill effects of corruption? It is anti-democratic. Like I earlier said, the rule of law is subverted. It goes against the democratic principles. It goes against the established procedure. It is also anti-development. When a benefit which is actually due to a poor person, due to a eligible beneficiary, is diverted to another person who is not actually eligible, that is what is called anti-development, and it is anti-poor too. So what are the other effects of corruption? It erodes the trust of the common public in the government and in the public institution, and it weakens the public institution. It distorts the market and resource allocation mechanism, and it is also impacts on the sustainable development. If we cannot stop cutting of trees and the pollution of air, water, atmosphere, then certainly this will lead to unsustainable development, and it further increases inequality, poverty, and social division. So these are the ill effect of corruption. We all certainly want that these should not happen, and so it is very important to fight corruption. Now, what is the ultimate outcome? What the government actually desires, what the CVC actually desires, what a conscious citizen actually wants, to create a fair and ethical and transparent and accountable environment where honest person can work fearlessly, where a corrupt person is punished promptly, and every public official, every public servant, every government servant, he or she acts with integrity without any fear, or favor. So this is the desirable environment, working environment. Now, a citizen should also know what are the institutional framework that we have to fight corruption. We all know, as Madam has already introduced earlier, Central Vigilance Commission. It is an apex integrity institution of the country. It advises the central government on various anti-corruption measures and also oversees the implementation of anti-corruption programs of various departments of the central government. So that is the central government institution. Now, another institution, very important institution, Lokpals and Lokayuktas. Lokpal is a central government institution and Lokayuktas are established in states. You must be reading these days that Lokayukta Karnataka has conducted searches it came into news, and a lot of money was recovered by the Lokayukta. In Odisha also, we have an active Lokayukta. It has started functioning since 2019, and where people can, general public can complain any incident of corruption, and it is an independent body. It is out of the control of not in control of the state government or central government. It is an independent body, a statutory body, backed by Lokayukta Act of 2014. So any citizen, if he finds that the government or the anti-corruption agencies of the government, like State Vigilance or CBI, they do not register his complaint, they do not act on his complaints for various reasons, he or she can approach the independent bodies, can write to CVC, can write to Lokayukta, Lokpals regarding their allegations. Then we have below that level, we have anti-corruption agencies. Most notably, you all know CBI is an anti-corruption agency. State anti-corruption agencies like Odisha Vigilance is there. Anti-corruption bureaus of various state governments. They are anti-corruption agencies which work to make a corruption-free environment in the state government, and they inquire and investigate incidents of corruption which their notice which are reported to them. Then another institution is Enforcement Directorate, which deals with the proceeds of crime of corruption. Okay, I think it was interrupted. Apart from these agencies, we have audit agencies, and audit agencies are very important. Important in the sense that they when they do audit of institutions, they find what are the loopholes in the procedures of their of the processes through which the activities of an organization are carried out. So they point out those mistakes, they suggest for recoveries, they suggest for remedial measures to be taken. And so the any audit has to be very seriously taken. Then we have institutions of chief vigilance officers in every organization. So that is related, they take care of internal vigilance in the organization, and they primarily implement the preventive vigilance functions of the government. Now, one must also understand the legal framework which is there to fight corruption. The primary act is Prevention of Corruption Act of 1988. Then we have Lokpal and Lokayukta Act of 2013. Odisha Lokayukta Act was enacted in 2014. Then we have Criminal Law Amendment Ordinance 1944, which deals with attachment of ill-gotten money. A person, if it accumulates property by means of any offense which is mentioned in the schedule to the ordinance, now that attracts attachment of that property. So that is covered under that ordinance. Prevention of Money Laundering Act is there, 2003. It is basically implemented by the Enforcement Directorate. In Odisha, we have Odisha Special Court Act 2006. It is a very, very important act which relates to confiscation of ill-gotten property. The property which are disproportionate to the income of a public servant. Those property belonging to a high-ranking government official can be confiscated under Odisha Special Court Act. Now, I would like to mention a difference which is there between attachment and confiscation. Once we attach a property, a person can still enjoy the property and till his death or till the outcome of the criminal case which is pending against him. However, once a property is confiscated, the person is not able to enjoy that property. So this is a very progressive act to fight corruption, where before the person is found guilty, his property is confiscated. And once he is acquitted of the charges, the property is definitely returned to him or her with all consequent benefits, like any interest which is to be earned, that is also given by the government. But it is a very proactive measure and to fight corruption. In fact, these Odisha Special Court Act and another Bihar Special Court Act, they were challenged in the Honorable Supreme Court, but they have upheld the validity of our act and the Bihar Act. So this is on the rule book, very much on the rule book, and it is being implemented. So this is the legal framework in which we work, and it is also, we'll also be happy to know that United Nations has a convention on Convention Against Corruption, UNCAC, which was adopted in 2003, and it contains 5 fundamental principles. The first is preventive measure. The second is criminalization and law enforcement. The third is international cooperation. The fourth is asset recovery. Asset recovery, which I was talking about in when I spoke about Criminal Law Amendment Ordinance and Special Court Act. So asset recovery is one of the important features of the international convention as well. Then we have technical assistance and information exchange. Now the document of UNCAC, it is readily available on the internet. It clearly speaks of empowering the citizens, the general public, in fight against corruption. What they say that we need transparency, accountability, or all other things. In addition to that, we need to raise public awareness also. Now every public has a right to participate in decisions relating to the public welfare or which relates to their development. So, and what is the logic behind that? The logic behind that is that once general public participates in decision making process, means the decision will improve because it is incorporating the local knowledge. The local knowledge which a local person will have may not be with the implementing officer. So that will improve the decision, and it also promotes fairness and justice in the public welfare schemes, and the marginalized sections of the society are heard once a public participation is ensured. So these are the various justifications which are produced while supporting the public participation in decision making process of the government. Right. So India is also a signatory to this UNCAC. There are around 140 signatories, and there are 190 parties. Means out of I think almost it is 100%. All countries are party to this United Nations Convention Against Corruption, and the participating countries have to make their law in conformity with the guidelines that is mentioned in the UNCAC. So the Indian government introduced massive amendment in the Prevention of Corruption Act and has brought it in tune with the provisions of the UNCAC. So that is the legal framework in which the anti-corruption agencies work. Now, coming to Central Vigilance Commission, it is the most important apex integrity institution. It is involved in policy matter and in implementation of anti-corruption measures in central government. It was established as early as in 1964, but it was made a statutory organization by an act in 2003. So the common public must understand that combating corruption, fighting corruption is not just a matter of making law and creating institution. It requires a multifaceted action from the private sector, from the public sector, as well as from the participating citizens. And as rightly mentioned earlier, it is deeply rooted in human values, the integrity part, the morality part. It is where the corruption arises from. And as we all have experienced, that there is no ready-made answer to the problem of corruption, nor there is any out-of-the-box solution. We have to work hard, we have to strive hard, we have to all participate in fighting corruption.
Teamwork.
Now, regarding Vigilance Awareness Week, this is being celebrated since 2000. It is celebrated every year. Now, this was the time when the CVC was, I think in 1997, some order came and CVC was activated, and it went through some deliberations and realized that enlisting the support of general public is very important. So creation of awareness among general public, this started since 2000, and it is now being institutionalized and observed every year with themes to focus on. Now, idea of the entire Vigilance Awareness Week is to generate awareness about the bad effects of corruption and the measure that they can take, and the measure that the general public can take to redress it. It also affirms our commitment to eradicate corruption and towards promotion of integrity and probity in public life through citizen participation. Citizen participation is the primary word here. Now, the level of integrity in a nation, it depends on many factors. It is the individual sense of values, the internal morality of an individual. It is the social values as well. Whether corruption is accepted in the society, how does the society react corruption. Then it also depends on the values adopted by professional bodies, like the various professional associations, business associations like medical association, engineering association. We can talk of FICCI and other professional bodies. How they react to this incident of corruption, how they are framing their rules and guidelines to be, whether it is in tune with the policy to fight corruption, or they are turning a blind eye to whatever is taking place, illegal or immoral is taking place. So that the value system which is adopted by a professional body, it also decides the level of integrity in a nation. The system of governance, of course, that is where the corruption originates. So that is an important factor in deciding the level of integrity. There are many causes of corruption. We all know. There is a red tapeism is heard everywhere. Then there is a scope for personal discretion. There are cumbersome procedures. Lot of steps are to be taken. There is no single window clearing. We have to go many places. We have to get many certificates and all those things. So cumbersome procedures are there. Licensing is there. Unnecessary, unclear regulations are there. Then monopolistic business, they promote corruption in the society. Another important thing is when there is a public interface, when a public servant reacts with, when a public servant comes in contact with the general public, the tendency, the scope of corruption increases. Lack of transparency and accountability. Poor grievance redress mechanism. If an organization does not have a proper grievance redress mechanism, then there is chances that the organization may gear towards corruption. Low rate of detection of corruption. As we all know, the corruption takes place in many areas, but very less of that is detected, and many go undetected due to passage of time, and due to other factors they remain undetected. So the detection of corruption is very low. Then there are another important thing which was pointed out by which is pointed out in the UN document as well as by our CVCs, is that lack of condemnation of corrupt practice. It is how the society reacts to the incidents of corruption. Whether we are moving towards normalization of corruption, means once a society moves towards that and it accepts that this practice is now normal and it takes everywhere. So we should not give it a serious thought. Then I think that society will go through a very difficult time. So that is another aspect which has to be looked into. We should condemn corrupt practices, but unfortunately, many of us they emulate the corrupt in the interior of their heart. They may also think that he is earning a lot, he is having good vehicle, he is having good lifestyle. So why not I should have the same? But then sooner or later the moral law will catch up with him, and so it is still better to be honest, to have a life of integrity. There are various areas of corruption which a common public knows, and he or she must know. In procurement or sales of goods and services, in transfer policies, appointment of recruitment of staff, transfer and posting, then delivery of services to public like PDS distribution, then distribution of pension, distribution of various government takes various welfare measures, Indira Awas Yojana, houses, housing scheme, various subsidies which are being given, fertilizer subsidy, then subsidy for purchasing equipments, all those things. So corruption is possible in all those areas. Another is the law enforcement, like police. We can see a lot of corruption. Then where transport organization, RTO offices, there's a lot of corruption. Taxation services, there's a lot of corruption. So in fact, these have been identified by the surprisingly, I think a few years back it has come out that teaching is also in very way ahead of other departments so far as corruption is concerned. It was very surprising to me because I also come from a background where my father is a teacher. So I was very surprised to know.
Chhattisgarh se aaye hain.
So my father was a math teacher in mathematics. So that also explains my engineering background. So I was very surprised how the teaching staff can be can rank so high in corruption. So there are various type of business. We need not. This is basically for the public institutions. There are 3 stages of corruption, where we try to prevent corruption. But if we cannot prevent corruption, then we have to detect the corruption and then we have to punish the corrupt person. So these are the various stages of corruption. But the most ideal stage is when we prevent the corruption in the bud itself. And this is where awareness among the public, awareness of the public institutions, this comes in very handy. Public sector institutions, these are not so what we want is a smart governance, simple, moral, accountable, responsive, and transparent governance. Now, a common citizen has many things which he can do, like presently they can lodge complaints with anti-corruption agency. They can lodge their grievance with the state government departments, like we have e-grievance system in the in our state government. Then we have a very good mechanism, feedback mechanism, which is now Mo Sarkar, which is being promoted aggressively, and many services are being brought under that Mo Sarkar this thing, where it is based on a feedback thing, where common citizens are randomly asked about their experience. That is keeping the public servants on toes, because they do not know when if they misbehave with a particular person, God knows somebody will contact him and came to know and will come to know about the ill behavior meted out to him. So these random checks are going a long way in maintaining the good behavior of the public servants. So this is one thing. Then another thing is now with the establishment of independent Lokayukta and Lokayukta in our state, citizens can directly write to the office of Lokayukta regarding any corruption which is happening in their area, and that Lokayukta has been doing. Basically, time-bound disposal is the key idea in the complaints filed before the Honorable Lokayukta. So that is the idea. Third is the citizen participation. Currently, the most important way of participation is through voting, but citizen can make a non-government organization. They can organize into self-help groups. They can organize themselves into citizen forum, and they can influence the policies of the government. They can influence the various decisions which are taken which affects them. So organization is very important. Knowing things are very important, and organizing is very important. And then fighting for the rights, that is very important. So this is the way out for the common public, in which they can contribute in our fight against corruption. I have many lot things to share, but I think that time will because this slide is number, I think It is
30.
somewhere 15,
30.
16, it is 20. I have 3 times the slide, but I don't think that is required. But the main idea is the community participation is the key, and for which this entire vigilance awareness week is geared towards. And I think that is the way forward for all of us in fighting corruption. I have also talked about United Nations Convention Against Corruption. It is a very good document. It one must read it. And on the CVC guidelines, on the CVC website, they publish a lot of things. They have published a lot of preventive vigilance initiatives in various departments. So the common public can know what they can expect from a particular organization. Another thing is the RTI Act. RTI Act empowers the citizen to collect information on the activities which affect them. So now it is a time-bound procedure. Reply has to be given within 30 days. And I think Central Information Commission as well as the State Information Commission has been upholding this right of citizen to know things which affect them. And a lot of citizens are able to get information from public offices, which earlier they were not able to get. So that is another very important legislation which is empowering the people of the country. So these are the things I think which I wanted to share, and I will now keep the field open for any suggestions. If you have any doubt regarding what the vigilance is doing, and if you have any suggestions, you're most welcome. Thank you.
First of all, I must say thanks to you, sir. Very lucid and very brief presentation. One point I would like to add, sir, here regarding the RTI Act 2005. Do you think that this act is really working? No.
Okay. You may have a different view, but many people are getting information. Of course, it is not that it is a perfectly. It may not be a perfectly implemented, but at least it is on paper. It has empowered the people, and people are getting information. We get a lot of allegations which people have collected information from RTI Act and they have given to us, and we have acted on those also. So yes, to some extent it is certainly working.
To some extent, yes.
Yes.
Many things has to be modified, and we must be bold on that way. Because you see, sir, when we ask the questions, if it is not particular, suppose the person who is not able to write properly, he may speak, but he may not write the question properly, then he will not get the accurate information. It happens. I have seen, sir. And if you do anything wrong with anybody, and he suddenly give a throw to you through this RTA. It's very difficult, sir. I faced. And what are the root cause of this corruption? Particularly from the economic point of view, I can add one more thing: unlimited bonds, and one more thing: demonstration effect and demoralization, and reject. Actually, how to reject all forms of corruption? It is the mindset of the people.
Yes, right.
Right. Otherwise, we can't do anything. And one more thing, sir: giving some responsibility and sharing the responsibility. If we will have the power of attorney like that, then corruption will be there. However, it's very nice presentation, sir. Once again, and it will be helpful for us because it is a recorded one. And in this respect, we have we are having that place, sir, e-citizen place. I would like to request, sir, Dr. Yeslan Binadas, namaskar. Do you want to speak anything, ma'am?
Very nice.
Okay. So, Mrs. Das from Puri, the line president. So here I would like to request Dr. Osama ji, Muhammad Osama ji, to place Yeah, make the e-citizen place for all of us. I'll display the place. You just repeat it and do it quickly, because I know Mr. Dilip Kaur, who has to propose a vote of thanks, he has no more time. He joined from US. He has some work, in a busy schedule. So we'll finish within 1 to 2 minutes. Okay. I'm now sharing my window. Yes. Mhm. Can you see? All of you, can you see?
Yes,
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 Okay.
yes.
So this is the e-integrity place for citizen given by CVC. May I
Yeah.
request Dr. Muhammad ji, Osama ji? the
Am I
resource person.
audible now?
Yes, yes, please.
Yes, yes.
Saluting Sardar Vallabh Bhai Javer Bhai Patel ji, I convey my hearty regards to all the participants on the occasion of Vigilance Awareness Week. Let's pledge
Yes.
the integrity pledge.
Yes.
I believe that
I believe
corruption has been
That corruption has been
one of the major obstacles
the major obstacle
to economic,
to economic,
political,
political,
social progress of our country.
social
and
progress
social
of our
progress.
country.
I believe that
I believe that
all stakeholders,
all
all
stakeholders,
stakeholders,
such as government,
such as
such as
government,
government,
citizens,
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 and private sector
and private
and
sector
need to work together
need to work together
to eradicate corruption.
to eradicate corruption.
I realize that
I realize that
every citizen
every citizen
should be vigilant
should be vigilant
and commit to
and commit to
highest standards of honesty
highest standards of honesty
and integrity
and
and
integrity
integrity
at all times
at all
at all
times,
times,
and support the fight against corruption.
and support
and
the
support the fight against corruption.
corruption.
I
I
therefore
therefore
pledge
pledge
to follow probity
to follow
to
probity,
follow
and rule of law
rule of
and
law
rule of law
in all walks of life,
in all
in
walks,
all walks of life,
to neither take
to the
to
take,
take
nor offer bribe,
not of
nor of life,
to perform
to
to
perform
perform
all tasks
all tasks
all tasks
in an honest
in an honest
and transparent manner,
and transparent manner,
to act in public interest,
act
to
in
act
public
in
interest,
interest,
to lead by example,
to lead by example,
for example,
exhibiting
exhibiting integrity
integrity
in
in personal behavior,
in
in
personal behavior,
behavior,
to report any incident
to report
to
any
report
incident
any
of corruption
of
of
corruption
corruption
to the appropriate agency.
to
to
the
the
appropriate
agency.
agency.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Very nice,
Now-
sir. Namaskar.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now it's time. May I request Mr. Dilip Kaur from USA, please propose your vote of thanks. Over to Dilip.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good morning to some of you who resides out of the country in different time zone. I was asked to deliver the vote of thanks for this webinar. On behalf of 182 National Webinar, title being Say No to Corruption, Commit to the Nation, organized by Rover and Ranger units of Mercy College of Natural Law, I have the honor to extend my vote of thanks from core of my heart to Mr. Sanjay Kaushal, IPS IG Vigilance, Southern Region, Odisha, joined as a chief speaker and resource person for his excellent deliberation. I think his much appealing speech will do a great help as well as useful for the public domain. Professor MANJU PATTANAIK, the principal and president of the webinar, must be given a high appreciation for her regular support to conduct such educative live webinars continuously. Dr. KP MISHRA, State Chief Commissioner, Bharat Scouts and Guides, Odisha, and Chief Patron of this webinar, is also praiseworthy for patronizing the Rover and Ranger units of Mercy College to conduct such virtual meetings, not only for the volunteers of the state, but also spreading a new message to the countrymen. Dr. Namita Patnaik, the moderator, is also deserved a special appreciation from bottom of my heart for organizing the different value-based virtual meetings involving both people from India and abroad. Last but not the least, to the respected viewers, I extend my sincere gratitude for sparing their valuable time to make this program a grand success. My best love and wishes to Divanshu Padi and Ipsita Mahanti for their contribution for chanting slokas. Finally, I bow down my head to Lord Jagannath for giving me an opportunity to propose a vote of thanks. Thank you all. Over to Namita ma'am.
Thank you, Dilip Dada. Oh, Sundar. Very
Thank you.
nice of you. In the early morning, very early morning, you join over here. Once again. Now, it's time to present the certificate to one of the participants, certificate. May I request Divyanshu, the youngest boy, to receive the certificate. Divyanshu Padi from DAV Public School. Yes, this is the certificate everybody will get. And this is for Divyanshu. Okay, Divyanshu. My request, sir, please bless our youngest participant, Sanjay sir.
Congratulations, Mr. Divyanshu. And I hope that you will continue to scale greater heights in your future life. And I wish all the best to you. And of course, to all other students who have tried hard, but of course, the winner can only be one. But all those who have participated, they all have won in some way or the other.
And it's a small memento for our guest, Mr. Sanjay Kumar Kaushal ji, who has given us time, sir. Kindly acknowledge with a token of love, sir, and respect.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
It's a pleasure, sir, to get such a great personality, and you have spared a very busy schedule, and I'm really happy, sir. We are expecting you in near future in some other programs
Sure,
also, sir.
sure, certainly.
And not only in virtual.
Do we have 2 minutes for question?
Yes, please.
Yeah, please.
Yes, please.
Okay, because this is the forum, we usually don't get to see IG in front of us, right? You know, we cannot just walk into IG office and ask questions. I think this is the right platform to ask. Somebody, I think Namita ma'am did mention about the RTI, right? You know, right to information. I think it is working very well because I have an example, huge example of RTI. In case you guys might have heard of this name, Anuj Dhar. He has been working for, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's plane crash thing, if it is true or false. He has done tremendous job based on RTI, getting the information from government. It is not easy to get the information government because some of them are classified, some of them are unclassified, but he has done excellent job, and he has opened the floor for public about Netaji's plane crash thing, and lot of theories are behind it. So that is a great example of RTI. RTI may not work in a lower level. That is one thing I wanted to put out here. Another question I have for Mr. Kaushal is, I work for a major, bank in this country. So what they do is, again, this is one of the suggestion. What they do is for each employee, we need to pass a curriculum, like, some courses. We have to go through different, chapters, different ideas about the corruption, how to prevent it. And then we have a series of questions to go through and answer them. If I pass, then only I will get a credit. Otherwise, that will be put back in my calendar again. And there are the deadlines. Is it a good idea to implement something like this in India? For example, in one office, in an administration office, for example, our university administration office, unless I don't pay some bribe, I don't get my previous year's certificate or my transcript and all those things. So if those employees are given some kind of courses or lessons, and they need to pass, not only just go through this one, they need to pass, then they will have some idea in their head that, okay, I'm doing something wrong. So I should be doing something, whatever law says, whatever the process says, what can be done properly, so that not only he and I, but whole community will progress. I'd like to hear from you on this, Mr. Kaushal.
That can be implemented if the competent authority approves that any suggestion which will improve the public service, that should be implemented. And if it is feasible to implement it, that is very good. But like you said about receiving certificates and all those things, I think in many states and Odisha also, we have right to public service, something Odisha Right to Public Service Act is there, where many services, there is a time-bound disposal of applications in those cases. So I think that can be strictly implemented. Like once any person applies for a certificate, let us say that within 7 days the certificate has to be given. So that can be a criteria adopted. You all must be knowing that passport office is generally doing such kind of things, like now for police verification. After a prescribed period, if that verification is not received, it is presumed that there is nothing against the person. So that at the time is the key. The two important key for any public office is time-bound disposal of work and proper documentation of work. Whatever an officer does, whatever a public office, whatever a public office do, it has to be documented properly, and the thing has to be disposed of in a time-bound manner. Like as you have raised this question, and this is also a public office, delaying any matter without adequate reason may call for looking into the matter from a vigilance angle. So that is, time is the key in all these things. So there has to be a time limit, and of course, as you said, that it has to be in the mind of a public servant that they have to do the correct thing. That is always there. If unfortunately, or there may not be any suitable way of ensuring that, apart from these punitive measures, apart from setting a deadline, deadline in terms of time, and if he or she fails to do the thing, then appropriately it can be decided to shift him or to take action as the authority may think proper. So I think that may be the key to the thing.
Sure. You mentioned a very good thing, like putting a deadline for any task is very important, and
Yes.
and if a deadline passes, means it is a positive, as you gave an example of the passport. So that is a very good thing. Thank you.
Refusal of information and not complying within a time period may should call for an explanation from an officer who was supposed to do the work. So that has to be, it has to be, every complaint, every application has to be properly monitored in an organization. So
best example is India's judiciary system. It doesn't follow any deadlines. There is a proper process, but it doesn't follow deadlines. Things tarikh pe tarikh keeps coming up, right? So thank you for a good comment on that.
Okay.
Over to you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. I can supplement one question, sir. How to reject all forms of corruption? That's a point. If suppose you'll see the root cause may be parent permission, it's needed. Now the parentship and then what is the parentship during our time. So, so what happens, sir? You are being the son of a teacher. What's your
Yeah.
voice? What's your voice about, sir, guidance? We are facing a lot of trouble nowadays in college.
Even I am facing a lot of problem. My daughter does not listen to me. So what to do? So yeah, these are difficult. There are many things like when we were kids, our grandparents used to stay with us. Now as we are moving from nuclear from joint family towards nuclear family, it is becoming difficult for parents to, I mean, I would say giving time to the children is becoming difficult nowadays.
Yes.
And the kid is now free to spend his time as he or she likes, with internet, with tablets, with TVs, and the moral values which were taught to us in a joint family by our uncle, by our aunts, by our
Vanished.
grandparents. That is, I'm feeling that those things are lacking in today's setup.
That is vanished totally, sir. Vanished. And we are advancing, and we are going for advanced country.
We are advancing, and at the same time we are becoming very lonely.
Yes, yes, sir. And that is digitalization. It has a very bad effect to the students. You see, we are everything on the website, but they don't have time. They don't have choice. They don't have interest. We should go for this. We will go for that. And even if you conduct some activities online, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, okay. More than 30 minutes, we can't. So, बैठने के लिए एक जो बैठना है, इंतजार करना है, जो कोशिश करना है, ये सब चला गया यहाँ से. जो राष्ट्रीय का कैसे विरोध करे और राष्ट्र के प्रति कैसे समर्पित रहे, is still on doubt, and still there is a big question mark for me. We are trying, sir. In scouting and guiding, we have promised. On my honor, I promise that I'll do my best to do my duty to God and my country, and to help other people, and to obey the guide law. And that guide law has got 9 points. And all those 9 points, if you really obey it, you will be a free man, you will be an honest man, you will be integrated man. But what is that? Where is that? A guide is trustworthy, our first point law. A guide is loyal. And trustworthy means your honor to be trusted, sir. But how? I'm not doing that. My honor has not to be trusted, because I'm not doing proper work. So it is all a group of spiritualism has to be developed, which will drag them from the, they are going away, they are going in a different way. We have to drag from that line. And it is very difficult. I'm trying my level best through my webinars to just inculcate spiritually.
Yes.
Yes, sir. And there are few portions. We may have few portions, but we are such since last almost 2.5 साल हो गया, sir. And we are assembled like a family. This is our webinar family, we say. Although we are organizing from Mahorshi College point of view, but this is a small family, sir. And we are trying. If a very small family will develop honesty, integrity, loyalty, friendship, definitely it will have a great impact on the society. So thank you, sir, for giving us many more time, sir. Once again, we'll meet you, sir. And yes, sir, it's very real. Dilip, do you want to say anything? We'll have a photograph. I'm just closing the